Welcome back to Regular Guys Outdoors. I'm Chris. We've got yet another 20 gauge shotgun review. I've been kind of wanting a 20 gauge semi-auto duck gun for a while, so I got rid of a couple of those 20 gauges that I wasn't real fond of and picked up the Stoeger M3020, 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 whatever you want to call it. They're 20 gauge semi-auto shotgun. It's an inertia-driven shotgun, so it operates like a Benelli or a Franchi or any of the other inertia-driven shotguns. And this one's the newer model, so it has a enlarged triangular safety button. It has the enlarged, more tactical style charging handle, if you will, and enlarged bolt release. I bought the 26-inch version because I kind of wanted to keep it a little more compact and as light as possible. So when I took this out of the box and tried to assemble it, it took me a little bit to assemble it. It's a slightly different. Normally I'm used to shotguns that you put the barrel on and then you put the forearm on. Well, in this case, you put the forearm on the barrel and then you stick the whole thing down in there. And it took me a little while to do that. Now, I've misplaced the instruction manual on this, so we're going to try to do this later in the video at the end and see if I can do it again. Two things that I noticed right out of the box once I finally got it together was one, it points extremely nicely, and that's probably partly due to the fact that the vent rib comes up off the barrel and sits a little higher than say my Mossberg 930s do. So it just points really, really well. It's got just the singular red fiber optic front sight, and it's a pretty good size bead. And two, it has a really good trigger pull. So let's check out that trigger pull. See how it feels. It's got a little bit of take up, and then boom, it goes off. It's pretty light, especially for a modern shotgun. It's not bad. Not bad at all. Let's put a number to that. So we'll kind of pull it in line with the way your finger would kind of pull it. 3 3/4. Let's do that again. 3 3/4. 3 3/4, right on the nose again. 3 3/4 pound trigger pull. That's nice. I also weighed the gun on my scale and it came up 6 pounds 3 ounces right on the dot. So not quite 6 1/4 pounds. So the accessories that came with this bad boy, it comes with 3 chokes, an improved cylinder, a modified, and an extra full. It comes with a shim kit so you can kind of adjust the buttstock slightly one way or another. And it comes with a sweet sticker and actually a fairly nice choke tube wrench. The sticker says inertia-driven, and the plastic coated choke tube wrench is nice. Will we focus? There we go. See the extra full choke tube here. The biggest measurement I'm getting is 570. So it's a pretty tight choke tube. 570. Nice. Definitely a turkey choke. One feature I forgot to mention, and that's really grown on me because I use a Stoeger M3020 when I'm at Phil's house. I use that quite often. And what it has is you have the ability to eject the round out of the chamber without the next one out of the magazine dropping in and getting in the way. So what you can do is, if you've got your 3 duck loads, say you're shooting number 4 duck loads in the gun, you hear goose honking, you can grab a goose load, a single shell, you can rack this open, you can rack the bolt, the duck load goes out, drop your goose load in, and then boom, you've got a goose load in, and you still got your 2 duck loads here. It won't cycle the ones out of the magazine if you just pull the bolt back. That's a pretty neat feature that's common on all the inertia guns that I know of, but if you're not familiar with that, it's a pretty neat feature. So when I first bought this 3 or 4 months ago, I took it up into the mountains and shot it for the first time. Currently I'm up in the mountains. I'm checking a couple other guns for some hunts I got going on. I got a little scratch on my nose. It's all pretty awesome. But since this is the first shots, with this Stoeger, I figured I need to record them, because my biggest concern is, does it shoot to the bead? I like it to shoot to the bead. A lot of guns are high. I don't like that. I like it to shoot to the bead. So the gun came with an improved cylinder choke in it, and I took it out to have the modified because I got a target down here at 31 yards. So I need a little bit of a tighter pattern. And so I took it out. The threads were a little stiff coming out, so I never got to where I could just do it with my fingers. And I couldn't thread the other one in with just my fingers, but I used the included wrench, choke tube wrench. And yeah, so we're going to set up a target down here. I'm going to shoot, first one's going to be with a number 2 load. We're going to see what this number 2 does. Modified choke, 31 yards. Let's see how it impacts. Don't care so much about the pattern. I want to see where it's centered. So I'm going to shoot. We'll go down there. All right, so I covered up that junk. Combination of little target stickers and spray paint. I got pellets all the way down here and up here. I'm looking at that. I'm not exactly sure what that is. Looks a little high. Let's do a different load a little closer. We just shot at 26 yards with this 20 gauge 2 3/4 number 9, and I don't think we'll ever see those type prices again. But man, these holes are small. So wow, this thing's covered from here, it gets kind of thick here to here. That's really well centered. I'm going to shoot this piece of cardboard again with a number 4 turkey load. Let's see what that does. All right, still 26 yards. The 20 gauge from Winchester, 1 5/16 ounce, number 4. And this ain't going to show up at all. But I've got number 4s down in here. It kind of is thick through here and here. That's pretty well centered. A couple strays out in the distance, a couple strays down here of that bigger number 4 shot, but mostly that's what I'm talking about. I'm gonna shoot something else and switch cardboard. All right, so we're still at 26 yards, still on the modified choke tube. We're shooting the old 20 gauge turkey load, number 6, 1 5/16 ounce. I can absolutely cover that bead up, or the dot up with the bead. And the majority of the pattern is here. I would probably call that maybe a 60-40. I don't know if I can even show it. It's not really showing up worth a crap, is it? I got a few pellets down here. I got a pellet, that's the highest pellet, a couple up high. Basically there's a pellet almost on every extreme edge except the bottom. And so the bulk, like I said, is right here. I don't know if I'd call that a 60-40, 65-35, but I'm not dissatisfied. Kind of digging that. So Hard to complain about that. It's not some crazy 90-10 that I've seen in the past with some guns I've had that I'd no longer own. 80-20 patterns, that's ridiculous. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to load up some shells and blast them. Everything from the that little light 2 3/4. I'm not going to really support it on my shoulder and see if I can kind of limp wrist the gun to make it jam. And as this comes from the factory, I can only get 2 2 3/4 shells in there, so I'm waterfowl legal. Up, jam. Let's do that again with another round of those light target loads. I thought I had all high brass, but there is a couple of these just little low brass guys in there. We'll see if that functions. I can really feel the action working. It doesn't have an authoritative slam to the bolt. It's kind of seems slow. Let me try something else. All right, 3 3-inch duck loads. Make sure my right hand is gripped tight, otherwise the back of that trigger guard is going to smack me good. Here we go. Yeah, no problem with those, kind of as I suspected. And the recoil was significantly more. All right, I got those light target loads in now. I'm gonna brace the gun a little bit here and let them rip. Does not like those 2 3/4 shells or the lighter shooting shells, one or the other. I can really feel that action, but it is an inertia gun, not a gas gun. I got one more light load I'm going to drop in the top, right in the chamber, and I'm going to shoot a couple of these shells that I'm not real fond of to back it up, see if that first shot jams again, because it's been on the first shot I think every time. Light target loads to turkey loads, what a difference. I really felt that first shot kind of, the bolt go back and forth on that first shot. You can really feel it. I have a feeling once this breaks in, it'll probably shoot those loads a little better, but they are pretty light loads. I did purchase this to be a duck gun, so let's shoot last 3 shells, 3 of the number 2 Winchester duck loads. These are stout. I'm going to not support the buttstock again and just make sure they're running. But I am going to try to be a little sturdy out here. He has no problem with those heavier loads. One quick thing here, as I was picking up my empties, I noticed those light target loads, the shells were like right here, real close, and the duck and turkey loads, especially the duck loads, were much further out here. So there's definitely a recoil difference felt, and as far as the ejection of the shells go as well. We're at the skeet range. We got a couple boxes of shells, fairly light loads. We got 7/8 at 12-15. Both boxes have the same specs, other than the shot size, which is irrelevant to this. But we're going to see how the gun functions through 50 rounds, and if I can hit anything, but that really wouldn't be a problem with the gun per se. The gun does handle nice, it feels nice, so we'll give it a go. Wow, I actually hit both of those. They were screaming. Dang, I got both of them too. So clearly I'm not doing the proper protocol for the skeet range, but I don't know what that is. Really? I only got the first one. All right, we're gonna try a double from here. Somehow I missed the one going straight away from me. That time I missed the one coming to me and got the one going away. I think I missed both of them that time. All right, I'm happy to report 25 rounds, no malfunctions. These loads got enough oomph. I think when I was in the mountains, those really low brass loads, they just didn't have enough oomph on them to cycle this inertia gun. So not bad. Gun's working just fine. Another thing of note is that the choke tube, I took out the modified choke and put in the improved cylinder. Once I broke it loose with the wrench, I could get it out with my fingers, so that's cleared up. Maybe it was some of the oil that I had put in there previous, or maybe I just needed to clear the threads of any gunk that was in there, but it came out just fine, and it's staying in tight right now. So after 25 rounds, it's still tight in there, even though I didn't crank on it. I missed both of those. Got both of those. All right. I feel like I know what I was doing wrong. Let's do it again. Now I missed both of those. Huh. Dang. Pulverized that one. Took 3 shots. Ooh, I was behind that one. Way behind. Those are too hot for me to handle. Let's just go out here somewhere. I don't know if it's the gloves or what, but I'm not having a problem with the gloves catching in here. I don't know. All right, here's a double. Let's miss 2. Or hit 2. Got him. Got him. Got him. 3 in a row. Mark that down. All right, last 2 shots of the day. Let's go for a double. Ah, only got the first one. I swear this action's a lot smoother now. Oh, that's Benelli click medicine right there. If your extractor's at 3 o'clock, as the barrel would be upright at 12 o'clock. If your extractor's at 3 o'clock, you're gonna have a Benelli click. So you want it up there at 1:30, 2 o'clock. All right, let's see if we can take this apart and get it back together. So as you see, the spring mechanism is actually up here around the magazine. So there's nothing really in the buttstock like some, I think Benelli's got the return spring is back here. Alright, so forearm is on. Let's see if this will go back together for me. And if you've ever heard of an expression that has to do with a monkey and a football, that's me right now. Quite the goat rodeo. But I'm doing it wrong. Okay, so it goes together quite easily if you have the bolt forward. Do not lock the bolt to the back. So the key is, do not have the bolt locked in the rear. Let it come out, and the bolt head will actually be sitting right out in the front. So then you take your forearm already on the barrel, and it will then just drop right in. I said, yeah, almost made a liar of me. It just drops right in. Then you put your cap on. So do not lock the bolt to the rear. That's the problem. Let's repeat that one time real quick. Now that I got it down, this should be pretty easy. Pops right off. Pops right back on. All right. So do I like this shotgun? I absolutely do. It is svelte and nimble. It points really good. It's got a great trigger pull. It's not crisp like I would want on a rifle, but it's light. It's got a nice big front bead. It shoots where the bead is. The downside, what I don't like, this butt pad, it is hard. And it's really rounded in the back, which actually makes it nice because it doesn't have any real edges back here to catch on things as you're doing this. But it is hard, really hard. So, two things we're gonna do right off the bat. We're going to put a limb saver on that bad boy and give it a little bit of squishiness back there. And we're going to use the extended choke tubes, an improved cylinder and modified for the duck hunting purposes. I prefer the extended choke tubes because I can check them for tightness without actually putting anything in front of the barrel. Whereas the flush tube that's in here, I stick my thumb in there to twist it to make sure it's still tight, but then you got your thumb in front of the barrel, or right in the muzzle. At least with these other ones, you can give it a quick check without getting in front of the muzzle proper. So, yeah. So, she's going to be a keeper, and I hope you liked this video. If you did, give us that thumbs up, hit the subscribe button down there, and as always, thanks for watching.